works, but after a while, they're already complaining because they slip. They start to slip.
Hey, brother, they're walking over already. Right on time. Seems like he was waiting.
Check, check, check 1 2, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4.
Okay, I don't know if y'all gonna scream them. Well, not today. No. Let me go. I'm sorry. If I get in your way. Yeah.
Is everybody ready?
Hold on a second, let me get in here.
Good afternoon. We're at the scene of a shooting where it appears we have one suspect down at this point, apparently by his own hand. This call was initially dispatched right about 11:15 this morning for a report of a welfare check. My understanding is that a family member of the suspect, the family member not being on scene, called in and asked for us to come check on the person here at the house. The information that we were given was that the suspect had been involved in some sort of a crash, minor crash, and was distraught over that crash. I don't believe at this point that anybody was injured in that crash, but indicators were that this family member, who is located elsewhere, was having telephone conversations with the suspect, and for whatever reason wanted him checked on. So deputies responded to the location. It was a two-person unit, a training officer, a training deputy, and a trainee deputy was driving the vehicle. They approached the location from that direction coming this way. By what I can see on the body camera, it appears that on approaching the house, they did see the suspect out in front of the house. Almost immediately upon exiting the vehicle, they then began taking fire from that suspect. There's at least two gunshots that actually struck the vehicle literally within inches of the passenger deputy's head. Deputies did a great job of exiting the vehicle while under fire, taking cover, and then establishing communications with the suspect. They were able to retrieve their loudspeaker and were trying to issue commands. At a certain point, it appears that they did have a visual of the suspect. He had retreated into the house. They were able to establish visual communications with the suspect and began issuing commands to him. Based upon what I'm hearing on the body camera video, it appears that he's threatening himself with the weapon, and the deputies are pleading with him to put the weapon down. At a certain point, you do hear another muffled gunshot, and then they break from cover and run up toward the suspect. But at this point, it's obvious that he has fired a single shot, and it appears that he's deceased unseen. The deputies are a 10-year veteran as for the training deputy, and then the trainee is about a 1-month veteran of patrol. My understanding, from all accounts here, it appears that they did an excellent job with the situation that presented itself. Certainly am thankful to God that this is not a much worse situation. They absolutely, this could have easily ended in the death of the two deputies as well. As tragic as the loss of this man is, I'm certainly thankful that we don't have two deceased deputies on our hands or injured deputies. Those deputies will be placed on administrative leave in accordance with our policies and procedures with regard to deputy-involved shootings, which is what we're considering this. After a certain point, they'll be put on administrative duty for the time being until such time as the investigation reaches a certain point, and they'll be until they're cleared to return to full duty. At this point, we don't have any indicators that there's anybody else injured in connection with this. I believe the San Antonio Police Department is handling the initial crash, but we may be taking that over if they request us to do so. Esta mañana, aproximadamente a las 11:15 de la mañana, nuestros oficiales fueron despachados a esta casa por reporte. Nomás venían a checar el señor que vivía aquí. Un pariente del hombre nos llamó que él estuvo involucrado en un choque menor y que él estaba teniendo problemas con eso. Ya cuando los oficiales llegaron aquí, el sospechoso empezó a disparar hacia el carro. El carro sí le pegó al carro 2 veces, una vez en la ventana del pasajero y luego otra vez en el parabrisas. Esos balazos llegaron pulgadas de la oficial que iba como pasajera. Los oficiales hicieron lo posible para salirse del carro, se pusieron detrás del carro y empezaron a tratar de comunicarse con el sospechoso personalmente. El sospechoso en algún momento huyó dentro de la casa, pero ya salió armado con una pistola. Los oficiales, se nota en la cámara, en el video de los oficiales, se nota que pueden verlo ellos. Yo no pude ver en la cámara, pero se nota que cuando menos uno de los oficiales puede ver el sospechoso y le está diciendo que por favor ponga la pistola para abajo. Ya en esos momentos el sospechoso se aparenta que se dio un balazo él solo en la cabeza y falleció aquí en la escena de los hechos, desafortunadamente. Nosotros nos damos gracias a Dios que los oficiales no fueron heridos en esta situación, que pudo haber acabado mucho más peor que lo que pasó. Ahorita los oficiales, ellos son veteranos, un veterano de 10 años y el otro solamente de un mes. Estaba entrenando con la otra oficial. Ellos van a estar fuera del trabajo por proceso administrativo por un rato, hasta que ya los pongamos en trabajo administrativo por un tiempo. Eso es porque lo que pasa en estas investigaciones regularmente por nuestras pólizas es lo que hacemos nosotros. Any questions?
So you said no injuries, like no scratches or anything from the glass?
No, thankfully the deputies, they reacted exactly the way they should be. I mean, clearly this deputy here, it appears that we made a good choice in having her being a training deputy. She did a great job maintaining her composure. She did a great job making sure that the other deputy, the trainee, had established communications he had eyes on. She maintained a position of cover, and she was very much in control of that situation. I'm pretty proud of the way they reacted. But no injuries.
¿Qué información tienen sobre el sospechoso?
El sospechoso es un hombre que parece que está en sus 70s. No sé si tenemos historia de crisis mentales con él, pero ahora sí nos podemos fijar en eso. The gentleman, the suspect here in this case, is a gentleman in his 70s. I don't know that we have any sort of criminal history with him or any mental health history with him. But and in the aftermath of this, obviously we'll be doing a deeper dive into who this person is and why this may have happened.
Anyone else in the home while this was done?
No, thankfully there was nobody else in the home. We shortly thereafter, after the deputies responded and began taking fire, we are actually actively working an operation out in this area, a mobile sub-directed patrol operation, as you all know, because of an uptick in violent crimes in this area. So we very quickly had several deputies on scene. 2 of our SWAT operators were the number 2 unit on, and they were able to clear the residence of anybody in there. So at this point, we don't believe anybody is hurt. And as I mentioned, the family member that called us is in I believe she's in another city.
¿Qué nos puede decir sobre el choque que pasó antes? ¿Fue cerca de aquí?
No se sabe por el daño que él tiene en el carro de él. Parece que fue un choque menor. Nosotros ahorita yo pienso que el Departamento de Policía de San Antonio, ellos están manejando esa investigación, pero es posible que nos van a pedir a nosotros que nosotros nos manejemos esa investigación, pero por ahorita parece un choque menor.
Only 2 shots were fired?
2 shots were fired, but it's pretty effective fire. It appears that he was somewhere in the driveway, somewhere near the front of that vehicle. As you see, it's that gray Dodge Challenger that's behind me. It appears that he was in the driveway, and the 2 gunshots are within probably 3 feet of each other, and one went through the passenger side window and the other one went into the windshield, both easily in line with those deputies. So again, just thank God that we didn't have a much worse situation.
Pistol?
It is, I believe it was a pistol that he had. Yes, sir.
¿Eso lo puedes explicar en español?
Sí, los 2 balazos, uno le pegó a la ventana del pasajero donde iba sentada una de los oficiales. La otra bala entró por el parabrisas, en la esquina del parabrisas. Las 2 balas tienen aproximadamente 2 o 3 pies de separados y pues afortunadamente no les pegó a los oficiales.
So no damage to any of the neighboring homes or anything
No,
like that?
at this point it appears that one of those rounds went through the passenger side window and lodged in the door frame. In the corner of the door frame, and then the other one looks like it went through the windshield and lodged somewhere in the windshield. So I don't believe that we have any exits or any cause for concern. Obviously, at this point, we're still going to canvass the neighborhood, make sure we're going to double check houses to make sure that nothing else was hit. So we will just ask area residents to be patient with us. We're going to be out here for a couple of hours. Our mobile substation will be relocated. It was already in the area, but we're relocating it to an area closer by. And so again, all danger has passed. We're asking the community to just be patient with us while we maintain control of the crime scene here. But we will be here for at least the next couple of hours.
Para comprender un poquito lo del choque, ¿venía huyendo de ese choque?
No sé si vino activamente huyendo de esa escena. Sé que el choque pasó más temprano. Él le habló a un pariente que había tuvo un choque y estaba como preocupado por eso. pero no se sabe por qué empezó a balacear a los oficiales cuando ellos llegaron.
Él estaba tal vez bajo alguna sustancia, intoxicado.
No sé, ahorita no tenemos información de eso o si tiene historia de crisis mentales el señor, pero sí se sabe que por alguna razón él llegó hasta el punto que empezó a balacear los oficiales o intentó balacear a los oficiales.
Did he end his life inside the home?
He is right in the doorway, so he's on the sidewalk right in front of the residence. So we've got him got the body covered at this point until such time as we can process the scene and the medical examiner makes the scene, and we'll probably have a contract ambulance collect the body.
You know, this is traumatic for your deputy and I'm sure his family now that they're going to have to
Sure.
deal with this. What's your message to the community? Because I mean, a lot life was lost today.
Sure, absolutely. You know, any loss of life is absolutely tragic. And while we're thankful that our deputies were not injured, the truth is there's still one family here that's changed forever. And so, you know, we certainly want that family to know that we're here for them. But for the community, you know, we want them to know that they've got great first responders out here in the area. We were already working the area with regard to that operation, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon. This is one of the areas where as we enter our budget cycle, we will be asking for more first responders in our budget ask in order to be able to continue to pour resources into the areas where they're most needed.
¿Vivía
Next of
solo?
kin been notified?
Sir?
Next of kin?
I believe next of kin has been notified, yes, sir.
¿Vivía solo?
Se aparenta que vivía solo el señor, sí.
What advice do you,
It was a handgun. I don't know the caliber on it, but it was a handgun.
what advice do you have for someone having this?
Well,
similar?
certainly anybody that you know, this situation started out as a relatively minor situation. You know, in this instance, I don't know the details on the crash, but it could not have been that bad. I mean, looking at the damage to his vehicle, accidents happen. That's why we have insurance. Certainly nothing to get yourself so worked up about that you're worried about going to jail or even worse, possibly taking the lives of two young deputies over something relatively minor. And so again, there's no knowing what, at this point, no knowing what this gentleman was going through mental health wise, but just want people to know there's resources out there for you. You know, no matter what happens, we can always help you out with whatever that situation is.
En ese momento que el sospechoso ve a los oficiales y que le dicen que tire el arma, ¿él les estaba diciendo algo a ellos?
Ahorita no sé yo, porque todavía no logramos hablar con los oficiales, sino que yo, cuando pasa una situación así, yo quiero ver esas cámaras, esos videos antes de hablar con la presa. Entonces ya no se sabe lo que él estaba diciendo a los oficiales. Solamente se puede escuchar donde uno de los oficiales está gritando al hombre que por favor suelte el arma.
So that wonderful call, that call that came in for you guys to check up, they didn't say the reason why?
No, it did. Well, it did mention that he was involved in a minor crash, and that she was the other family member was concerned for him for some reason and asked us to come check. But there were no indicators that he's made any threats toward law enforcement. But something in that phone call caused her to be concerned enough to give us a call.
And who is she? Do you know if she's related to him?
She's a family member, is all I know at this point.
I'm not sure which state.
No, I think she's in another city. I don't think she's here in town. But my understanding is that person is his next of kin, and so I believe we've notified her at this point.
Are you able to release what kind of race? Hispanic
What
male?
race? I believe he's a white male. Is my understanding. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
You have one more mic on you.
Yeah.